Hello, everybody. At the end of the Zoom worship on Sunday, on Trinity Sunday, I said that because I had been afflicted by gremlins, technological gremlins, that is, that I would post the sermon to you sometime this week. So here goes for Trinity Sunday. This morning's Gospel stretches out the story of Easter to its conclusion. The two women go to the tomb, but it's empty. "He's not here," says the angel. That was Easter Day. And the story continues. "He's going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him." The women left the tomb quickly with fear and with joy, and they ran to tell Jesus' disciples. On the way, they met Jesus, and he said to them, "Don't be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me." And when they saw him, this morning's Gospel tells us, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Now, the Bible we use each Sunday translates the original Greek as "some doubted." However, more literal translations suggest the words "they doubted." And other versions of the Bible do translate the word that way. It wasn't just some that doubted. In fact, they all doubted, even as they all worshipped. Now, the point is that worship and doubt are not mutually exclusive. In fact, both are essential to deepen the faith in us. But let's be clear that the disciples doubted doesn't mean that they had no faith, that they didn't believe. Rather, they gave their hearts to Jesus, but their heads just couldn't make sense of what was happening. Their heads and their hearts were not aligned. Well, who hasn't had that experience? You could make a list of why it is that you love your friend or your spouse. But after a while, it would begin to sound a bit superficial or shallow, because at some deep level, the list won't even begin to describe your love. Some things like love can be experienced, but never fully defined or explained. Now, remember the last time that you were enthralled by the beauty of creation. A couple of weeks ago, my family and I followed the River Itchen on a beautiful walk. Now, I remember feeling the warmth of the sun, the dappled light through the trees, and the river sparkling. Now, how do you explain that? Or the fact that we lost our way twice? Now, was that warmth nothing more than photons hitting my skin? I doubt it. Some things like love and beauty can be experienced, but they are always more than words, though our poets come close on occasion. When we hold in our arms a newborn child, how do we explain the wonder and mystery of their tiny fingers, of microscopic fingernails, their soft breath? Is a child simply the end result of reproduction? Well, I doubt it. In that new life, we know, we see, and declare a miracle. There are examples of experiences that are more beautiful and bigger than our minds can make sense of or fathom. But if we put them under a microscope, the experience itself would vanish, and with it any possibility that we might be changed by it, transformed by it. In these situations, doubt is not some kind of deficiency in us. It's a declaration that we have glimpsed the divine and touched the transcendent. The experience changes and transforms our lives in ways words and explanations never will. Now, if that's true about love and beauty and new life, how could it not also be true about God? Despite the Trinitarian declaration of the one in three and the three in one that we are familiar with, God cannot in the end be defined by mere numbers, explanation, or understanding. If the Trinity is about anything, it is about love, beauty, and new life. And when we experience these things, we become immersed in the life of God. But we probably don't think about it this way or put it in this way. So what does this all mean for living with one another? For the world-changing activities that Jesus calls us to, practicing justice, making peace, promoting inclusion. Let's bring us down to earth. Let's look at Anton Rublev's famous icon of the Trinity. The triune God is ever calling and asking us to take our place among the three. It's not just about God, the icon, it's also about us. In the United States, we have watched as George Floyd, a member of the black community there, was filmed being killed by those who should have protected him. Now notice the empty space at the table towards the bottom of the icon. Who might that space be for? Well, it's for us, for you and for me, for everyone, regardless, in this case, of their ethnicity. I would suggest that the experience of feeling included at the table is one of immersion in God, of experiencing God as God really is. The wonder is that black and Asian people around the world have not lost sight of this amazing vision, in spite of being told again and again that there is no place for them at the table. We who are already seated must stand up and rearrange the seating so that there is space for all. It's what God wants. Let's do this for God as we follow Jesus and for those who are excluded.